What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 4 match of the NCL or the Nimbasa City League, taking on our good buddy Magic and his Snowpoint City Blizzard. Magic has not had the best start to the season, although he's picked up a win, which is quite the improvement over last season, which took him a really long time to get a win. He made 3 transactions last week, and he's bringing 2 of them this week. Let's run through his team really quickly here. So he's got Eternal Floette, Mamoswine, Decidueye, Lycanroc Dusk, Electros, Servine, Mega Slowbro, Hydreigon, Meloetta, Ariados, and Heatran. He ended up dropping Escavalier for Electros, he dropped Electrode for Servine, and Hawlucha for Heatran. So no Electros this week, and I was really scared of things like the Hydreigon, the Lycanroc Dusk, and the Mega Slowbro, none of which came, so I'm a little bit happy about that. I'm really happy not to see Webs from the Ariados, although Tornadus absolutely shut that down. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the team builder, you should check it out, but it's not super relevant, so don't worry too much about it, because I did change quite a bit of stuff. I ended up filming the team builder last night, and then I changed a lot of stuff while I was at work today, because I realized some of my ideas were stupid, and I had no way to check the Mamoswine, which was a huge threat to my team. And as we saw, he brought the Mamo. So what I've changed is I changed Megalodios to a much more offensive set. I'm running 3 attacks Roost on the Megalodios, Speed Tying the Lycanroc Dusk, which shouldn't come, so I should be, in theory, I should be the fastest Mon in the, sorry, I should be faster than his entire team. Same with Tornadus Therian, which obviously I didn't change anything on the Torn. Pangoro, I changed it from Choice Band to Assault Vest so that I could eat Hydreigon hits, which didn't come either, so I'm regretting that a little bit because I think Choice Band would be a little bit better this game. But not much I can do there. Tentacruel is the same. I swapped out... What did I swap out for Bronzong? I swapped out a Mon for Bronzong, like an entire Mon. Diancie. I had Diancie and I swapped it out for Bronzong. Just because I figured I had enough special defense, and Pangoro actually turned into a better Hydreigon check than Diancie did with Babiri. Because obviously Flash Cam was coming if the Hydreigon was coming, so Bronzong gives me a nice Mamo check. So I have 3 ground immunities on the team, and Bronzong offers a nice ice resist that obviously the Latias and the Tornadus won't be able to provide, and Mamoswine's probably going to outspeed my Tentacruel, so can't really switch that in either. And then I changed Diggersby from Scarf to Band, which is a change that I may or may not regret based on how this game goes. I just figured it wasn't really worth running Scarf when his team is so slow generally, when I could run Band and throw Quick. I threw Quick Attack on instead of Knockoff. And I figured that would be a little bit better, but then he brought Decidueye, which I wasn't expecting. Like, I wasn't expecting either of the grass types or the Heatran, and he brought both grass types and the Heatran. Kind of blew my mind a little bit there. I understand why he brought the Heatran. It makes a ton of sense against me. Even though Diggersby, like, bops his team in the face, Heatran makes a lot of sense because Entei would have bopped his team in the face otherwise. I could have brought, like, a special set with Z Solar Beam and just obliterated Slowbro. I could have brought like a physical set and with Stomping Tantrum and still obliterated the Heatran, but at the very least he's got the fire immunity there to cover the double grass, and to cover Mamoswine from getting burnt by Sacred Fire, which I think is a big thing for him too. So I can understand though that. I don't really understand the Decidueye unless it was somehow designed to beat Megalodios, but it doesn't look like it was going to. It was very strange that that was his way to beat Megalodios. And then Servine, I saw this after the game. I still don't understand why Servine was even there. It didn't do anything against my team, and Hydreigon would have been a much better bringing against my squad. So I'm feeling pretty good because there's less threats than I was expecting to see. Floette's obviously still a threat, but I have 1.5 checks to it in my Tentacruel and the Bronzong. Meloetta is definitely a threat. I have like less than 0 checks for Meloetta, so that's actually quite a big problem. That I didn't really prep for, and Diancie would have helped out a little bit more with, was dealing with the Meloetta. And then, well, I didn't really have good Meloetta checks in the first place. What do I switch into a Meloetta? Honestly, just Hyper Voice users in general kind of bought me, so I'm glad I'm through Sylveon, I'm glad I'm through Mega Gardevoir, and then Meloetta should be the last of the bunch of Hyper Voice users now that we're done with Drampa as well. So that is good news. All right, well, I've been stalling for way too long, so let's get right into the match here. I'm just going to lead with Pangoro because honestly, what's his answer to Pangoro? And if he leads Floette, I have Tentacruel's dead switch in every single time. The Decidueye decides to sub on me for some reason, and I get to knock off. I'm doing like a lot of damage with that, and then he ends up getting rid of the specs on his Floette there. So that's kind of big that we see the specs, and I see he's got a little bit of HP investment, but not a lot. So that's pretty important to know, because it means I'm trying to put this thing in a range where Bullet Punch will kill it, and then he can... he's going to bait himself into a false sense of security against my Pangoro, and I'll be able to Bullet Punch it and take it out, because it's kind of a big special threat. But obviously Tentacruel is my switch in every single time. Pretty free into the Tentacruel here on the Moonblast, which is obviously weaker than Light of Ruin, but he doesn't have the specs anyway, so he's not taking the recoil. And then I decided to go for the Toxic here. It was pretty free. There's no way he's going to switch in Heatran. Even if he was predicting the Poison move, it's just not safe when you can go into something else to eat the water move. I don't agree with bringing in a grass type, by the way, on Tentacruel. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, I don't know what he would have switched in besides Meloetta, really. But yeah, it just seems weird. The Glare Tech is really cool. Catches my Megalodios switching into the Servine here, which is, you know, pretty annoying. Obviously, it would have caught my Torn as well. And I'm just going to go for the Psyshock. Does a little bit of damage to the Meloetta. I'm just trying to get some chip on this thing now. It's pretty good that he's giving me chip, and that we see that it's Leftovers and Calm Mind. Because we know that it has no way to recover. Leftovers, Calm Mind, we see Calm Mind and Dazzling Gleam as well. So the Dazzling Gleam is obviously there for the Pangoro, which would otherwise wall the Psychic attacks, but basically he doesn't have recovery, so I'm just trying to chip this down as much as I can, and unfortunately we have to sack off the Megalodios, the Meloetta, but that is going to let me bring in my Diggersby. And I thought, based on the amount of damage my Megalodios was doing, that this was relatively HP invested, and it turns out he's running enough speed for me. So this is a fat roll, and he gets low rolled to high hell, and I'm able to kill it with U-turn. Banded Quick Attack wasn't killing it from that range somehow, unless my calc was just wrong. So I didn't want to go for the Banded Quick Attack. I figured U-turn was a safe play, and unfortunately for Magic it worked out for us and not for him. Tornadus is very safe here, because if he brings in Heatran, I can taunt it so that we prevent the rocks from going up. If he goes into anything else, I just attack. And he's going to bring in Mamoswine for some reason, so I get a Fat Grass Knot off. It's very HP invested Mamoswine, because that didn't kill. He's going to knock off my stash. Not a big deal. I'm still not in range of Ice Shards, so I'm just going to go for the Air Slash, which would have killed it anyways and does the most damage to anything else coming in. Tentacruel is very easy switch into this Floette. Once again, I'm just going to go for the Sludge Bomb, I think. Yeah, I go for Sludge Bomb as he forgets about Liquid Ooze, and I'm going to be able to kill off the Floette with Tentacruel. In is going to come the Decidueye. I figure I'm probably faster than Decidueye, so I go for the Toxic, because we've seen he is a subset. I don't really care what the Servine's going to do. I don't really care. He's going to glare me. I'm not running any speed investment, and I crit the Sludge Bomb, and Toxic damage is going to take its toll there. The crit mattered, kind of. I don't really know actually how much it mattered. I'm not sure what the Servine would have been doing staying in on the Tentacruel anyways. He might have been able to get into Heatran and still have the Servine around to glare something else later, but I really don't think that it mattered too much. All it ended up doing was making it so that the Servine died that turn rather than another turn later. Decidueye comes in. I can't really risk this thing getting a sub up for free on a paralysis, so I was going to go hard into my Pangoro. And then he shows the SD on my knockoff. So I'm looking at the calcs, and it looks like Leaf Blade is a roll to kill me. I'm just going to try and get this thing as low as I can to get a Bullet Punch off. And if he decides to keep subbing, then he's just weakening himself further and further for me. And if he ends up roosting at some point, then again, I'm still in a position where I'm just going to be able to kill him, because knockoff one-shots this thing pretty much no matter what. And if I chose to, I probably could have just clicked Crunch as well. +2 Spirit Shackle looks like it's the best way to hit me, and it's not really going to do anything, so Pangoro gets to pick off a kill. In is going to come the Heatran. If this thing specs, I die because the AV, and I could kill it with Drain Punch, but I don't really want to risk it when I have Tentacruels just sitting there, and it's a reliable switch into this thing. So he's going to miss the Fire Blast, so it really wouldn't have mattered. I probably could have killed it with Pangoro, but instead I'm just going to be able to Scald this thing. Get some good chip on the Heatran. It's not super relevant, but Diggersby can clean up this game now, depending on how much HP investment the Mamoswine has. Obviously, the Pangoro comes in. I still don't know what kind of set he is. Based on the Earth Power damage, he's looking like modest, and then he misses another Fire Blast. So, obviously, I could have just kept attacking it with the Pangoro. And we're going to get a crit Scald. Doesn't matter because it didn't die to 2, so... Now Tentacruel's going to be able to pick it off. No full paras is pretty huge. And then Mamo's going to come in here. Obviously, I'm not leaving Tentacruel in on Mamo. I want my differential. So Bronzong is going to come in. And we see another Black Hole Eclipse for these physical attackers that can't break Bronzong. It's wild. Luckily for me, this one cannot be Night Slash. And so through the Colbur Berry, I just get to kill it with Gyro Ball. And that is going to be game. So we pick up the 5-0 win over Magic in the Snowpoint City Blizzard. Pretty big win. I will take wins like that, especially when we play Ben and the Tampa Bay Weasels next week. Ben has been a pain in my ass for months now. Wow. Yeah, we've been good buds for months now, and I think I've only beaten him once, but a lot of our games have come down to hacks. I've got some pretty nifty ideas, and I have a good idea of how to beat him. So we'll look out for that, but that is going to be our next week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for week 5.